Won't somebody think of the politicians? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because, well, I wonder how many of you are going to be supportive of this idea. 300 grand in welfare for pollies as they try to get back into the, well, employment sector. Now, honestly, I thought about Jackie Lambie. She went on one of those reality TV shows because she was broke. She was broke, which is kind of concerning when you've got a good politician job earning decent money. Hopefully, you'd be smart enough to develop some passive income from that, but I guess these are our leaders, aren't they? So let's check this out. A bold welfare plan for Victorian ex-MPs could cost taxpayers billions. I'm sure you'd all be happy for this. But I mean, honestly, how many companies wouldn't hire an ex-poly? A bold proposal to endow former Victorian MPs with up to 18 months of salary while seeking new employment would cost taxpayers millions. So a year and a half. No, just go on the dole. Stuff this. Go on the dole. You know, that's it. Go on the dole. But what do you reckon? A submission made by Deakin University to the Victorian Remuneration Tribunal recommended former MPs be better supported as they transition out of public life. Commissioned by former MPs, of course, and the Parliament to assess transition to life after Parliament, Deakin researchers found politicians struggle to gain employment after leaving office. Well, you need to have your own business. If you're at this level, shouldn't you have the skills and ability to run a business, your own one? That's what I assumed. Maybe wrongly. The recommendations, now before the tribunal, call for a 6 months payment based on the basic MP salary of about 96 grand, and then 2 further installments of the same amount if no work is found in the first 6 months. Why are we paying money to people who can't get a job after 6 months? Is this just the stigma of being in Parliament? Or is this to stop them becoming corrupt and taking all kickbacks? In total, a former MP could gain up to $288,000 under the proposed scheme over 18 months. If the former MP did find work in that time, they would be responsible for advising the Parliament to cut off the payment. Who would actually find work then? It means you got an 18-month holiday. Put them on the dole. If they're not smart enough or capable enough to leverage their experience to get a job at the similar level, then why the hell are we paying them that much? If the dole is good enough for the constituents that vote for you, it should be good enough for you as an ex-parliamentarian. Deakin's modelling suggests there was a high number of departing MPs, 52 in any given election. The cost to taxpayers could add up to more than $4 million in separation payments. However, if at least 20% of those waited the full 6 months to find a new job, it would cost up to $4.29 million. In comparison, Deakin also compare it to the dole for that period. Deakin also undertook modelling of a 6-monthly payment set against the average worker's earnings, which would cost $2.08 million. But this did not form the basis of their submission. Do we really want people at this level representing, making decisions about our lives, who can't get a job after 6 months? Or is that just the stigma of being a politician? Let me know. A separation payment system already exists, which is only provided to dependents of an MP who dies in office. An MP who does not seek re-election or otherwise ceases to be an MP provided there is no corrupt conduct. In their submission, Deakin researchers used interviews from former MPs to strengthen their argument for the payment. I was unemployed. I was the family's main income earner. All of a sudden, things that you take for granted, like paying the mortgage, all becomes a bit shaky So it was hard, one former MP recounted. I mean, you've got a contract for a fixed period. Shouldn't you be planning for that? I guess not if you think you're going to win. I mean, there'd be a stigma, wouldn't it? Would you hire a former MP? You'd know their political ideology, so it's instantly you wouldn't go all the nutters, would you? And depending on which side of the aisle you sit, that depends on which nutters you want to avoid. Just look at the photos from the Marxist conference down in Victoria. Oh boy, the constituents there will have to pay a lot of carbon tax. Have a look at my poll I'm running at the moment on the community tab. The submission also detailed how mentally draining losing a seat could be. I was in such a terrible headspace that I probably wasn't applying as much as I should have been. But I don't think I was getting interviews for that reason, one former MP told the researchers. Yeah, I can appreciate that. It's probably going through burnout. You probably need 6 months off to sort your shit out. I've had friends that have been in this position before over the years, and you're depressed and at a low ebb. You kind of don't get traction with potential employers because I think there's a vibe around that, one former MP told the researchers. In another submission, Victorian's Greens leader, Samantha Ratnam, called on the tribunal to cap any potential salary rise at 1.5%. In a submission, she said the Greens felt already MPs had a generous base salary and a 1.5% rise would keep them in line with the public service. No more than a 1.5% wage increase is appropriate and is consistent with the Victorian government's current wage policy and enterprise bargaining framework, a submission said. We believe it is unnecessary and inequitable for members of parliament to receive wage increases in excess of those being offered by the government to other public sector workers. The Remuneration Tribunal is accepting submissions until the end of this month before making any decisions regarding MPs' pay. So, well, let's have a bit of a talk about this one, guys. Well, for those of you in Victoria, you have until the end of the month to make your submissions. What do you reckon? Do you think they should be provided with separation pay? I mean, it is pretty harsh if you just lose your job like that, your seat, maybe through no fault of your own, maybe it's just a protest vote, but I guess that's the challenge of why they go into this game. You have to prepare for it like anything else. I mean, I'm surprised they don't have their own businesses or other careers to fall back on. What are they trying to do? I mean, what skills are you developing in Parliament? Negotiating, sitting on committees, voting, doing as you're told by the party because you can't have any independent thought if you're in Labour and have an opinion on the Voice. Yeah, I can see how that's not very useful. It's almost like 4-year bloody sabbatical from actually doing anything productive. I guess reading a lot of reports, kissing ass, going to events. You tell me, guys. What do you reckon? Am I just too bitter? Probably. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out Heise BIM and Heise Does. And if you're a fan and want to support us, there are a few ways you can. There are a few ways you can. There we go. Wait. There's a few ways you can. You can support us financially on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.